Welcome to our channel. Today, we bring you the best vocal plugins in 2022. Before we continue, please press the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to receive regular updates whenever we upload a video. When it comes to mixing a vocalist, you should have some of the most incredible voice plugins at your disposal. We'll look at several compressors, EQs, and other plugins that work particularly well with voice files. A song's vocals may make or destroy it. It's not easy to know where the line is, but it's even more challenging to figure out how to make a raw vocal comp sound like Bruno Mars or Ariana Grande because many of the tactics used by experts are so subtle. 10. Celemony Melodyne. Few vocalists in the world, although there are many, are capable of recording a radio-ready voice file without the need of pitch correction. Adele and Tori Kelly, perhaps, but even Beyoncé and Brendan Urie's vocals are altered in some manner on each tune. Well, I recognize auto-tune when I hear it, and none of those vocalists sound like T-Pain, you could say, and you'd be correct. It doesn't sound like auto-tune. Melodyne is terrifyingly excellent, after all. Melodyne is a versatile instrument that can perform a wide range of tasks. It can lengthen or shorten syllables, lower sibilance loudness without impacting vowels, modify note timings, eliminate vibrato, lengthen or shorten pitch bends, adjust formants, individually tweak the volume of each note, and more, all without leaving any artifacts. So there's some good news. Melodyne 5 now operates as a standard VST plugin inside your DAW, eliminating the need for exporting and importing. It uses Audio Randomness Access Technology, or ARA, which improves the process 1,000-fold. Melodyne should be an absolute must-have for everyone who works with voices in any capacity. It takes some getting used to since some of the key commands and shortcuts are less obvious, and it acts virtually as a standalone DAW, but it's a vital tool that's well worth the effort to master. 9. Antares Auto-Tune. On the other hand, auto-tune is only visible when the makers want it to be. When a singer's pitch is only a little wrong and adjusting the severity of the settings might help preserve a terrible performance, it also shines at quick and easy pitch correction without artifacts. Auto-tune has several advantages over Melodyne, one of which is that it is, well, automated. Queuing up the plugin and getting clear vocals doesn't take much practice, but the trade-off lacks control. On the other hand, it shines as a bonus effect to any otherwise excellent vocal performance. This is the greatest VST for rap vocals because it kills two birds with one stone. It corrects the pitch of your vocals while also giving them a distinct personality, making your music stand out from the crowd. 8. FabFilter Pro-Q 3. Form and function are usually mutually exclusive. You may have something that sounds fantastic or visually appealing, straightforward, and simple to use. The most incredible thing is that it sounds as good as it looks. Linear phase EQ is a godsend for keeping phase connections between instruments and retaining the original tones, and it's included in Pro-Q 3. We sometimes want to remove all the low ends with the steepest high-pass filter we can find, and Pro-Q 3 achieves just that. If our kick and bass are both playing simultaneously, yet a sidechain compressor will remove the top end of our bass, and we need something to duck the bottom end, what should we do? That's right, the dynamic EQ with sidechain inputs with Pro-Q 3 can accomplish this, cleanly, beautifully. 7. Universal Audio Teletronix LA2A. We used to be doubters of antique gear in general, especially compressors. We believed that all compressors operated and sounded the same, and that one was all you needed. However, while any compressor may get the job done, some perform better for specific purposes, such as the LA2A for voices. With many analog gear fans, this is the go-to vocal compressor, and for good reason. Though the difference is subtle, it simply sounds better on vocals than so many other compressors, analog or digital, and our friends at Universal Audio have faithfully recreated all the goodness and warmth in a digital download that you can use in your DAW. It's not difficult to use because the controls are straightforward and recognizable to everyone who understands compressors, threshold, ratio, attack, release, and so on. It keeps the physical counterpart's appearance without any extra bells and whistles, making it simple to dial in the appropriate setting the first time and bring your voice to the center of every mix. If you're using Logic as your DAW, the standard compressor includes an LA2A emulation, albeit it's not labeled as such. It's called the Vintage Opto, and it's in the same category as the default option, Platinum Digital. 6. Waves Sibilance. We just recently got the opportunity to test out Sibilance, but thus far, we're impressed. We were looking for a de-esser that could do some more intricate work and be more practical about the frequencies that needed to be softened, and we're delighted we found this. Sibilance features a built-in resynthesis engine, which distinguishes it from other de-essers. We were taken aback by how much control we had over everything and how simple it was to comprehend. Traditional de-essers are single-band compressors that make sharp sibilants seem like lisps when used too extensively. Because every vocalist produces various sibilant frequencies, and even then, an F sound differs from an S sound, they might be challenging to employ. It's the overbearing attitude. 5. UAD LA2A. You can't go wrong with an LA2A for a nice output sound. On my voice bus, I maintain both an 1176 and a 2A plugins, with the latter adding a little glue and tube flavor at the end of the chain. And that's exactly what it excels at. It has simple controls, a gain control knob for adding makeup gain, and a peak reduction dial for controlling gain reduction. The LA2A adds analog warmth to vocals that sounds wonderful, at the risk of sounding glitched. 4. Waves CLA Vocals. This one will take a burden off your shoulders if you've been looking at this list and wondering which of these plugins you need to obtain a pop voice sound and feeling overwhelmed. CLA Vocals is a Swiss Army plugin containing an EQ, compressor, de-esser, reverb, delay, and even a chorus/doubling effect. We know a lot of producers who swear by this plugin and think it's the greatest for radio-ready voices, mainly because, despite all the results, it's still straightforward to use. With titles like bass, treble, compress, and reverb, CLA Vocals offers only a few faders as its significant controls. Finding the word you're looking for in the mode and moving the fader is all it takes to manipulate vocals. With a sharp ear and agile fingers, you can go from edited to entirely produced in 30 seconds, which is essentially a real-life cheat code. Chris Lordauge, one of the most productive mixing engineers globally, inspired the name. Fortunately for us, he collaborated with Waves to create this plugin based on voice chains he made and utilizes all the time, giving us all the same capabilities as a mixing legend. 3. UAD 1176. UAD 1176 is one of the world's most well-known and commonly used FET limiting amplifiers. Whether you're using the original thing or one of the numerous plugin emulations, it's fantastic on vocals. The UAD version is imposing. When you need one of the top vocal plugins, opt for the 1176. It's lightning quick and it can handle even the sharpest transients in the raw material. 1176 also has a pleasing sound signature, making it a favorite of many of the world's top mixers. It's not transparent, but its personality gives your voice a lot of oomph. For specific parallel compression, the all buttons in mode can be handy. 2. Slate Digital Fresh Air. Slate Digital's Fresh Air is a relatively new plugin, but it drew a lot of attention when it was first released. Using this plugin only once will show you why, because the effects are massive and incredible. Fresh Air is just 2 exciters, which sounds like it would be twice more confusing or underwhelming, yet we found the reverse to be true. There are only 2 controls, a knob labeled Mid-Air and another labeled High Air. When you turn the Mid-Air knob, you'll perceive a sense of presence and fullness, but not in a heavy way. It's as though the music spontaneously bursts forth from below. When you turn the High Air knob, it's like lifting a wool blanket you didn't notice there, and everything comes into great focus. According to what was heard, this VST, which is excellent at getting vocals to pierce through a mix, is based on analog exciters with a contemporary twist. While you could watch a plethora of YouTube videos and other people using it, we urge that you try it for yourself, which is quite simple because it's free. That's correct, it's completely free. You have to give your email address in exchange for the download link, but it's well worth it. Overuse of this plugin can cause some frequencies to become harsh, particularly around 4 kHz and 8 kHz, but Fresh Air can be a potent medication for bland vocals in modest doses. 1. Soft Tube Saturation Knob. This final entry is brief yet crucial. Saturation is a holdover from the analog era, when electrical circuits could get saturated with signal, causing more harmonics to develop until the sound became fuzzy. Those additional harmonics became a typical feature of pop music, and people naturally sought to duplicate them. As a result, we've got Saturation Knob. A little more saturation on voices may add a lot of richness, presence, and perceived loudness to the sound. This one-knob VST is like fresh air in that it's only a little sauce to add to a vocal dish. It's also free. Thanks for watching the video. Comment down below which part you liked the most, or click on the thumbs up button if you liked the video.